But what is the hardest thing either of you have ever faced in either life or war?
The hardest thing. Well, for me, it's easy. There was the fear in war. That was the hardest thing. You have to be able to operate under continual fear. And I wasn't able to do that without, I'm sure, help from the Holy Spirit. There's just no bill. There's no doubt in my mind. And when the war was over, we celebrated VJ Day VE Day in Europe, and there was a big celebration. I'm not sure. I don't remember much about it. I just know that I didn't drink, and so I had no problems with that. Well, anyway, the next morning, about 5 a.m, a sergeant comes into me and says some of the guys have been drinking and they're not capable of going on guard duty. Would you take an extra turn? I said, yeah, sure, I'd do that. So I was put on guard at the butcher shop this time. And early in the morning, a little old German guy came walking up the cobblestone street at maybe 6 a.m. And he said, "Guten Morgen." And I choked up. I have a thing that if I get very, very strained, stressed, I choke up and I can't speak. So I ended up saying nothing. The next morning, that guy came up again and he said, "Guten Morgen." And I happened to manage to say, "Guten Morgen." And that's when, not on VE Day, that's not when the war was, that's when the war ended for me. Again, maybe this isn't important, but I'm positive the Holy Spirit sent that guy to me. But whatever it was, I never hated the Germans. I never had a nightmare like you hear people having. I certainly dream about the war from time to time, but it's never a totally negative thing. And I even started to feel sorry for the Germans. And I tell people that, but one time this year when I'm writing my book, I was checking on from my old letters some dates. And I have 150 letters. I was going through them and I put them in order and everything. But I noticed this. From that day, I had negative things written home about the Germans. Afterward, there were no more negative things. Unbelievable. I didn't know I did that. But that for me, that was a wonderful thing that happened. I never had that same feeling about the Japanese. I was never over there, but I've never given up hating the Japanese for what they did to our guys. They were just unbelievable, horrible people. I'm sure that doesn't happen in Japan today, but boy, back then it was. I'm glad I wasn't in the Pacific. I remember sometimes I would take Nancy to work. I was retired, she's still working. And they put a Japanese flag out in front of their building because they had visitors from Japan. It was hard for me.